Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever actually stopped to wonder what's happening behind the scenes when you click a link? Today, we're going to pull back that curtain on something you use literally every single day, the website. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute basics, then get into the two main flavors of the modern web. After a quick tour, we'll cover how you actually get to a website, and then, finally, we'll clear up a really common mix-up that trips a lot of people up. All right, let's just dive right in. You use them for everything, right? Shopping, talking to friends, working, but what is a website, really? What's going on behind your screen? Okay, to answer that, we really need to start with a solid definition. This is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about today. I know, that might sound a little technical, but the core idea, it's surprisingly simple. Just think of a website as a digital folder. It's full of files, like text and images. The only difference is this folder isn't on your computer. It's stored on a special, always-on, always-connected computer called a web server. So what's actually in that digital folder? Well, it's mostly code. You've got HTML, which is kind of like the skeleton. It gives the whole thing structure. Then you have CSS, that's the designer. It adds all the colors, the fonts, and the style. And finally, JavaScript is what brings it to life, making things clickable and interactive. And of course, you've got all the content itself, the text, images, and videos that make every single site unique. Okay, so now we know what a website is made of, but how it works? Well, that can be totally different from site to site. And that brings us to maybe the single most important concept on the web today. Not all sites are built the same. They pretty much fall into two main categories. So first up, we have static websites. The best way to think about a static website is to imagine it's a printed brochure or a flyer. The content is fixed, what you see is exactly what everybody else sees, and it's not going to change unless a developer physically goes in and updates the code. These are absolutely perfect for information that doesn't need to change very often. Think about an artist's portfolio showing off their work, or a simple website for your local pizza place with its menu and hours. They're simple, they're fast, and they're really secure. Now, on the complete other side of the spectrum, we have dynamic websites. A dynamic site is less like a brochure and honestly more like a living, breathing conversation. It builds the page on the fly just for you based on who you are, where you are, or what you've just clicked on. You see, most of the websites you use every single day are dynamic. When Amazon shows you recommendations based on what you just bought, that's dynamic. When your Facebook feed constantly updates with new posts from your friends, that's dynamic. And your Gmail inbox, that's a super powerful dynamic web application. So here's the key takeaway, the bottom line. It's all a trade-off. Do you need something that's simple, fast, and really easy to maintain? You go static. But do you need a personalized, interactive experience that's always changing? Then you definitely need a dynamic site. But that just comes with a bit more complexity behind the scenes. And this fundamental difference, this split between static and dynamic, is exactly what makes the web so incredibly diverse. It's the engine that powers this huge variety of sites we use all the time. So let's take a quick tour. The web really isn't just one thing, It's more like a massive toolbox. Think about it. You use different sites for completely different jobs. E-commerce sites are your digital storefronts. Social networks are your community hangouts, and blogs are basically our modern-day magazines. Each one is a specialized tool built for a very specific task. But here's where things start to get really interesting. That sharp line we just drew between static and dynamic, well, it's starting to get a little blurry. Modern tech is actually giving developers the best of both worlds now. The incredible speed of a static site combined with the power of dynamic features. All this technology might sound pretty complicated, but for you, the user, getting to any of these millions of websites follows a super simple and familiar process. It's something you've mastered without even thinking about it. You do this 100 times a day. First, you open up a web browser, Chrome, Safari, whatever. Then you type in the website's address, its URL, into that little bar at the top. Your browser then sends a request out to that web server we talked about. The server sends all the files back, and boom, the page loads on your screen. From there, you just click on links to get around. Simple. And luckily, you don't have to memorize millions of different web addresses. For the sites you visit all the time, you can just create a bookmark. And for everything else, well, you do what we all do. You just type a few words into a search engine like Google and let it find it for you. All right, to wrap things up, let's just clear up one final super common point of confusion. People use the words website and web page like they're the same thing all the time, but they mean very different things. Getting this distinction right will really make it all click. This slide lays it out perfectly. A web page is just one single document that you're looking at right now, but the website, that's the entire collection, everything that lives under that one single address, all linked together. Let me put it another way. If a website is a book, then a web page is just one single page inside that book. The About Us page, that's a web page. The Contact page, that's another web page. Together, along with the home page and everything else, they make up the complete website. See the difference? And that brings us to the big, lingering question for the future of the web. As that line between static and dynamic just keeps disappearing, what comes next? Are we going to prioritize lightning-fast simplicity, or will our online world become even more deeply personalized and interactive? That's the real tension shaping the next generation of the internet.